So my name is Omar Abasad. It's 11:44 a.m., September 6, 2019. So I tweeted a bunch of tweets on YouTube, some videos about frequencies recently. Frequencies. So that's RF, radio frequency reading, milliwatts per square meter. That's the unit of the reading. So that's the reading right now, close to the computer, close to the camera, close to me. If you could see that. So I'm going to, and there's the reading. It just alarmed around my hand. So yesterday I talked about being trapped and at a certain frequency. Excuse me, let me say that again. I'm being tracked, but this detector alarm goes off at a certain frequency. So because the alarm doesn't go off doesn't mean that I'm not being tracked. It just means that I set the limit to alarm high, which is 12. So I think it's about 12. Yeah, 1326. So this alarm goes off as it did just now, and it's still going on. Notice those solid bars. All the way back down. So close to me. So it seemed to be related to motion as well. It takes about 2 seconds for the reading to appear. The air. So the reading is the air. $25.88. So there are definitely frequencies around me at various levels. So if I were to keep it there, it's at 7, went down to 2.5 something. So it's cycling through even though it's not alarming. So there are two variables I'm suspecting here. There is motion and there is the power, the frequency level, and the number of people actually behind computers. 112. So I'm going to say that I suspect that when it goes up to about 100, then several people are logged on. Or the pain level, somebody decided to increase the pain level. So if I had the electrical field on the screen, you'd probably see when it went up to 112, you'd see that the electrical field would probably go up, which means that the power went up as well. So I'm not well versed on this topic. I'm just doing the research now. For those of you who are engineers and so on, I'm sure I'm coming off sounding really silly. Um, but I have a funny feeling that I'm on the right track with this. So again, action, triggers, and that seemed to be consistent at around 20. So now that I've established that there are frequencies around my body that are varying, fluctuating, and we know that there is experimentation going on, and we know that there are several people um, logging on, sharing the contract globally. It was distributed. So if there are 7 people holding parts of that contract, and this is really criminal activity I'm talking about, um, then they would have 7 agents around the victim that they are surveilling. And each person would be logging on and off, on and off. So I suspect that this is the explanation for the readings that I'm documenting here and the effects of the high power on my body. Now, as a child, my mother was very spiritual. She was a seeker. My father was not. My father was the ultimate in rebelhood, I should say. Um, but anyways, I inherited, I think, from my mother this quest for spiritual knowledge. So it's from my mother, who was also exposed to Christianity, because I went to a Christian school, a Presbyterian school, that was Canadian backed. So it seems like the Canadians were supporting me from a baby, since I was a baby. So that's probably why I ended up in Canada. Anyway, so my mother had this Christian influence as well. So I married the two together, and of course, all religion, and at the root of all religion, the quest is the same: self knowledge, knowledge of our environment, how we relate to it, how our universe works, and so on. So this is all a common hunger in all of us, Christian, Muslims, Hindus. It really doesn't matter what religion it is, quote unquote religion. Um, of course, religions are hijacked to create wars and all that. So that's human nature. But take away that part of human nature, the need for power and the need for control of other human beings. And this is coming from people who are not obviously enlightened. The quest deep down inside of us is to find out more about ourselves and the process connecting to the wider universe. The truths, the foundation of our existence, the truths. That's always there, no matter what, whether we're here, whether human beings exist or not, whether the earth is here or not, it still is true. So these frequencies, for me, open my eyes to, or solidify, I should say, what I knew as a child that I got from my mother, because my mother had this need, this hunger that I just described. Um, so what I'm experiencing right now seemed to be tying into what I felt as a child, this connection to nature that my mother had, very deep connection to her mother and her parents, and this love, just love, basically. She was love based. Um, very empathetic. So it all seems to tie together. These frequencies when people log in, and the person who's doing the remote viewing, because this is what it is really, a form of remote viewing. Their personality comes through. So I seem to have inherited some sort of a sensitivity to frequencies and to interpreting the frequencies. So when a criminal or a rapist logs in to rape, to me, the criminal intent comes through. So it exaggerates the effect. Now, somebody logging in, coming through, communicating with somebody through these frequencies, are obviously not doing it with positive intent. It never is positive because this is not only physical rape, this is mental and emotional and spiritual rape. So these are criminal acts on various levels, all levels of our existence. I'm sure my mouth was pulsed here just now. So this is, when you talk about criminal activity, you don't get more criminal than this. These assaults are criminal in every aspect of what criminality means, which is why it's satanic. It's diabolically evil and satanic when it's done without consent. When these sorts of connections are made without consent. Now, there are natural connections that you will make with people, and that, of course, is with consent, tacit, unconscious consent, because when your brainwave frequencies connect with another human being naturally, and that's a natural connection. You know, that saying, we clicked. Well, that's what it is. We clicked. So that's just the opposite of what's happening here. This is the way it's supposed to be. And even if you have a chip inside of you, you should be able to give consent. You should be able to decide who you want to connect to or not. You shouldn't have somebody hacking into the chip, because we are there. We are getting chips in our bodies. We will be asking for it more and more. It's already being used medically, widespread. So kids are going to be asking, begging for the chips. So we are opening ourselves up to being violated this way. We are opening our kids up to be violated this way. So I just wanted to make those comments. Talk to you another time.